1 in 3 people using that Pay in 4 button are splitting up groceries. Not sneakers, not a TV. Milk, eggs, the boring middle of the cart. 2 years ago, that number was half the size. And this year, the button, engineered to feel like it was not dead at all, quietly started showing up on your credit report. Same button, same 4 payments. Something underneath it changed. I am the mechanic. 20 years under the hood of one machine, your money. And tonight, the smoothest part anybody ever bolted into a checkout page goes up on the lift. 4 gears, the split, the word free, the invisibility, and the one they installed this year while nobody was watching. Numbers on all 4, in hours of your life. No advice, just a schematic. Take the cover off. Priya, 26, Vet Tech, $22 an hour. Friday night checkout page, cart sitting at $240. The work boots she has needed since March. 240 is the number that makes her close the tab, so the page offers her a different number. 4 payments of $60, no interest, no credit check. Priya never decided to borrow. She decided that $60 was fine. Gear 1, take the cover off. Here is the whole machine, and it is one part. The split. It does not lower the price. It does not lend her anything she can see. It takes a decision, borrowing money, and reframes it as a schedule. Look right here. On this page, the full price never has to appear as one number. That is not an oversight, working as designed. So put the real number back on the bench. $240. At $22 an hour, that is roughly 11 hours of Priya standing on a clinic floor holding somebody's terrified cat. 11 hours. That is the price. But nowhere in that checkout did the machine ever say $240 to her. It said $60, 4 times. And here's the part I actually admire. Nobody lied to her. 0 interest is real. There is no fee sitting in that 4x60. The math on the screen is honest. So the obvious question, the one you have never once asked at that checkout, if the interest is 0 and the fee is 0, then who is paying for this thing? Because somebody always is. Cole, 34, line cook, $18 an hour. He has got 4 of these plans running at once, not because he is reckless. A phone screen, 2 tires, a birthday, a vet bill. 4 different apps, 4 different 4 payment schedules, each one landing every 2 weeks, none of them landing on the same day he gets paid. Cole is not in debt. Cole is in 4 calendars. Gear 2, take the cover off. The word free is doing 2 jobs. Job 1, the store hands the provider a cut of every sale, several percent, and that cut is already baked into the tag price for everybody, cash or card. Job 2 is the back door, and it opens on a calendar. Be 1 day late, $8. Now how often does that back door actually open? Look right here. Roughly 47% of people using these plans paid late in the past year, up from 41% the year before. That is not a fringe of reckless people. That is almost half the customers on a product whose whole pitch is that it is gentler than a credit card. You never read that fee schedule. Nobody reads it. Somebody at the lift is already saying it. 47% late? Then the lenders are bleeding and this thing collapses. Let us put it on the scale. The independent read on what these loans actually lose, roughly 1.83% charged off, not 47, under 2. Nothing here is bleeding. Objection noted, objection weighed, which raises the better question. If this thing is so healthy, why did it need to hide? Theo, 23, picks orders in a warehouse, $16 an hour, night shift. He is on the last bus home, phone out. He has 3 of these plans running across 3 different apps. Ask him what he owes, and he will tell you honestly. Nothing really, just some small stuff. Here is what makes this gear beautiful. He is not lying to me. Nobody ever built him one place to see all 3. Gear 3. Take the cover off. No credit check going in, no report going out. For years, a pay-in-4 loan left no mark anywhere. Not on your file, not on the next lender's screen, not in one tidy place Theo could look. That was not a gap in the paperwork. The invisibility was the product. It is the entire reason this thing could scale. working as designed. So how big does a debt get when nobody can see it? Look right here. Roughly $70 billion a year in the United States on a product that barely existed 10 years ago, growing about 20% a year. That is real money moving through a channel that, until recently, left no footprint. Phantom debt, not a metaphor, an accounting fact. And this year, the phantom started showing up on paper. Priya again. Same boots, same 4 payments of $60, 11 months later. She is applying for a car loan, and something is sitting on her credit file that was never supposed to be there. Pay in 4. Not the boots, the loan for the boots. In 2025, one of the biggest providers started sending these plans to the credit bureaus. Priya was not told. Priya was reported. Gear 4. Take the cover off. This is the only gear in the shop installed after the machine was already selling. The bureaus now take the data. The score most lenders use has Pay in 4 built into it, so a loan sold as lower stakes than a credit card now moves the same needle. And the invisibility did not break. It just stopped being the profitable part. Working as designed. Now weigh what that actually costs. Look right here. Miss one $60 installment by 30 days, and that mark can sit on your credit file for up to 7 years. $60 of convenience, 7 years of paperwork. For Priya, at $22 an hour, $60 was under 3 hours of work. The file it opened will outlive the boots by about 5 years. And boots, at least, were a choice. Rosa, 45, home health aide. Tuesday, the grocery run, $160. Milk, eggs, chicken, the boring middle of the cart. At the register, her phone offers to split it. 4 payments of $40. Rosa takes it. Next Tuesday, the groceries come back. So does the cart. So does the button. The plans start stacking on top of each other. Back to the top. Look right here. Roughly 1 in 3 people using these plans, 29%, have used them for groceries. In 2024, that number was 14. It doubled in 2 years. This machine was sold on sneakers and concert tickets, things that can wait 2 weeks. Dinner cannot wait 2 weeks, and dinner comes back on Tuesday. More than half the people using these plans say they could not make ends meet without them. Not could not have the boots, could not make the week. And here is my read. A button engineered so a purchase never has to feel like a decision was always going to land on the thing you cannot skip. Nobody polished that button hoping you would buy fewer sneakers. Bolt it together. Priya, who never saw 240, Cole, living in 4 calendars, Theo, owing nothing he can find, Rosa, splitting a chicken on a Tuesday. Not 4 machines, 1 job. Keep 4 numbers from ever becoming 1 number. The blueprint has no part for addition. They never drew one. They never thought you would. Back where we started. 1 in 3 people using that button are splitting up groceries, and now the split has a paper trail. That is the whole story in 1 sentence. The thing that made it feel weightless is gone, and the weight it was hiding stayed. Same button, same 4 payments. It just tells on you now. Where is the valve on this thing? Not on the fee, not on the bureaus, not on the price. It is upstream of all of it, in the 2 seconds before the tap, and it is 1 question. What is the total? That is it. That is the whole valve. It costs nothing. It is not on the screen, and no engineer will ever put it there. Your move. Open the Pay in 4 app you use. Add every plan still running into 1 number and put that number in the comments. All of it, once. I read the readings. Subscribing is your service ticket. There is always another part on the jack. By protocol, everything you just heard is a blueprint, not an instruction. Check your own numbers. Next on the lift, the loan that got cheaper every month and never got smaller.